Happening now, former President Trump has been found guilty on all counts of falsifying business records in his criminal hush money trial, making him the first former U.S. president to be convicted of a felony. Jurors delivered their verdict this afternoon after 2 days of deliberations that spanned 9.5 hours. Trump will be sentenced July 11th, just a few days before Republicans could select him as the Republican nominee. After the verdict, the former president addressed the media, saying he is, quote, a very innocent man, and vowed to appeal. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
Former President Donald Trump found guilty. Jurors delivering the verdict on 34 counts of falsifying business records in the hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Trump reacting to the verdict.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
Last year, Trump pleaded not guilty to the felony charges brought by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. The case tied to that $130,000 payment his former attorney Michael Cohen made to Daniels just before the 2016 presidential election in exchange for her silence about her alleged sexual encounter with Trump. Prosecutors saying when Trump reimbursed Cohen, he purposely disguised it as a legal expense to hide the damaging information from voters. Trump denies that encounter with Daniels and maintains he did nothing wrong. The trial began in April. Prosecutors calling 20 witnesses to the stand, including Cohen and Daniels, the defense calling 2, Trump declining to testify in his own defense. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Hundreds of people gathered around the courtroom in Manhattan when they learned that a verdict had been reached. Some expressed anger while others cheered and hugged. Following the verdict, cameras captured Trump walking into Trump Tower. He was seen holding up a closed fist, waving to the crowd and pointing at them before he went inside. Let's bring in Cumberland's Hannah Knowles with more reaction tonight. Hannah?
Well, Mary, I went across the street to the Seattle Center, and I got a lot of different reactions, mixed reactions from people of all ages, genders, and even political backgrounds. Now, for some, they tell me that they are happy with the verdict, and they think that Trump is guilty, while others say that they think what happened just moments ago is wrong and sad for our country. I did talk to some people who tell me that they don't know enough about the trial to really have an opinion on it, or they just didn't want to give us any comment. Former President Trump found guilty on all 34 counts this afternoon. I did ask people today if they were surprised by the outcome. Take a listen to what they had to say.
The law applies to everyone. It was a fair trial. The jury deliberated. They found him guilty. So we respect the will of the jury.
Now, as Trump seeks a return to the White House in this year's election, it will present his voters with another test. Some people today tell me that they think he should serve jail time, while others say that they just don't think that will happen. Now, if that will happen, if he will serve jail time, that will all come down during the sentencing, which is set on July 11th. Live from Seattle, Hannah Knowles, KOMO News.
Hannah, thank you. Former Pierce County Prosecutor Mark Winquist is here to provide some analysis, a historic moment in American politics, Mark. So the former president will be sentenced July 11th. Let's get right to the sentence. What kind of sentence could be given?
The judge has a lot of discretion, but I would not expect to see jail time imposed, more likely probation or house arrest.
That is the expectation. And is this something that could happen before Election Day?
Well, I think what happens, if it hasn't already, is Trump's lawyers are going to file their appeal,
Sure.
of course, and Mr. Trump is not going to be going anywhere between now and the election.
Nor is he considered a flight risk.
Correct.
The jury took 9.5 hours to come to a unanimous verdict. Does that surprise you at all, given the historic nature of this trial?
I was a little surprised, and in fact, I had predicted a hung jury as the most likely result, given the numerous counts and given the polarized feelings people have about Mr. Trump.
So even you, as a legal expert and someone in the field, expected a hung jury. I mean, the way that it happened, what does that speak to you about the attorneys for both sides and how the case was presented?
Well, for me, it says the jury did their job. They got in there, they undoubtedly disagreed in the beginning, they took some time, and they came around to a unanimous verdict.
Trump says he will appeal this conviction. Regardless of the appeal, a felony conviction does not play into the requirements of the prerequisites for anyone running for president. Can you explain more about that?
Right, in some states, you cannot vote when you've been convicted of a felony, but you can still run for president. So this probably has, well, it has as a legal matter no effect on his ability to run for president. Whether or not it has a political effect, remains to be seen.
All right, Mark Lindquist, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
We'll stay with Como News through the day on this developing story. We'll have the latest updates for you on the air and online.